little warm up. Becoming aware of your breathing. Release the abdomen. You're hanging out, so not standing up, not fighting gravity, letting weight exit through the legs and feet, and sinking into the hip on each side. So you're not holding yourself up. Sink, sink. And just let those arms and shoulders go. You're releasing the abdomen. And depending on how warmed up you're feeling, you can have a more vibrant turn and swing. The arms stay relaxed and soft. They can do a more vibrant hip turn and weight shift by pressing into the ground with that one leg. And then the other leg. And gradually winding down. Hip circles. Knees. Alternating shoulder rolls. It's good to become more and more aware of your feet. You can actually source this movement from your feet. Releasing, opening the bones of the feet. And you can actualize the rolling of the shoulders from the contact with the ground through the feet. And as you do, even again, work extreme upper body, still connected to the ground. So feeling your feet entering the ground. And if you connect your tailbone to your heels, that'll create a unified alignment. So see if you can feel the bobs of your feet and your heels and find a line from your heels to the movement of the neck. Last time we spent a good amount of time on arm swings. We'll just do a couple minutes of that this time. Energize the Tekatana, hand blade, a little finger, running a line of energy along the edge, right through the little finger, right through the edge of the little finger. And then energize both arms equally. Can you still stay conscious of the bottoms of your feet? Then it's nice to get a nice little extra stretch if you want to then continue that arc. Okay, so one foot in front, and we'll do Manucci Ikiundo, but more with the flavor of the arm swing. So again, the arm swinging just from the weight shift, and you don't have to come all the way up at the very beginning and form that classic shape. We're just basically doing an arm swing, cultivating relaxation and gently, softly warming up the joints in the body. Turn sideways here, just want to make sure that there isn't a forward lean or that you're coming from the upper body. Coming from hips, lower body, or to stay with the theme that we started with, actually coming from the feet. And just letting the shoulders become a neutral pivot point. And then the other foot forward. Excellent. And letting gravity gradually take the weight of the arms. It's actually a very useful, important process. Accentuates the experience of joining with gravity, allowing gravity. Let's do that again. Again, sometimes these very small movements or these very looked over parcels of movement actually have a lot of learning. So in other words, when we stop, rather than just stopping and then our mind moves on to something else, if we stop moving the hips, really be conscious, pay attention to the arms naturally, gradually being brought to stillness through the process of gravity working. So we're joining with, agreeing with natural forces, in this case, gravity, and letting it do the work of stopping the arms. Perhaps once more. And using the hips movement and the weight shift forward and back, see if you can really get those arms swinging without adding anything with the arms. And we're doing now this time for the experience of how we stop and the process and the experience of gravity bringing the body and the arms to alignment. So emphasizing that stopping portion is coming back to naturalness, joining with naturalness. You might notice a vibration in the body. There's a quality of feeling that we want to maintain in everything that we do. So when we start a technique, maybe it's kotegash, we want to start from that relaxed, hanging feeling, natural feeling. And when we finish the throw, we haven't actually added anything to that. We start and finish the same way. So let's do that with the arm swings again, forward and back. But before we start, being mindful, emphasizing the same thing that we emphasized when we finished. So right now, noticing and experiencing gravity working. You might still be able to feel that vibration and tingling in the arms, but just agreeing with, emphasizing this hanging outness. Of course, we have to be mindful and careful that we're not slumping when we're relaxing and hanging out. Skeletal structure is very clear, including last class, we spent some good time on the back of the neck and the back of the lower back. So you're hanging virtually vertically. and then just let gravity work. In Tai Chi, we mention often let the muscles hang off the bones, but the bones have to be aligned pristinely. So coming from this naturalness, moving the hips, getting the arms mobilized, and then stopping whenever you want to stop with the weight shift, emphasizing and capturing the experience of that subsiding process. And if you find that to be quite a nice, profound experience of relaxation, softness, naturalness, we want to bring that into all our movements and even techniques. It's a very organic way of coming to one of the principles that we talk about, weight underside. Okay. Now going into more classic Minucci, but see if you can keep that same relaxation, softness of the body. But the shape or posture is very clear and bright. And then with the Tenkai or the turn. Now the opportunity here is to notice when you lose that nice hanging feeling. Maybe there's a tiny little bit of losing the balance as you turn, a tightening, an uprising. Maybe just the thought of turning causes some tension and tightening. So feel free to come back to just the arm swing, coming in contact again with that natural softness, and then go back into that classic movement and see if you can bring more of that softness and openness into the movement. And again, noticing the places where you tend to tighten up. Bring in another element here that's very useful. We talked about this a number of times. When the arms go forward or the elbows roll forward and up, it actually sucks the shoulders down. Rolling and advancing elbows can actually facilitate pulling the shoulders down. So we know we don't want the shoulders to come up, and actually rolling the elbows forward can facilitate that drawing of the elbows down. So that can help with that weight underside and not getting uptight, not pulling up. Advancing, rolling elbows, pull the shoulders straight down. Okay, let's do some Tenkan Undo. So let's start with 90 degrees. And let's actually kind of stay with being consistent with the theme in that when we do our Tenkan movement, we'll just let the arms swing as if we're doing an arm swing. Last time we worked on a couple different specific shapes and trajectories of the arms when we do Tao Henko. That can be a basic Minucci, it's basically up and down, or it can be more of an arc. So we talked about that and explored that last time. So this time, let's just let the arms move around as if we're just doing this lateral arm swing to again just facilitate that relaxation, softness, naturalness. The footwork is the 90 degrees. And we're just turning this into a different, a little bit more sophisticated arm swing. See if you can let your shoulders completely sit on top of the rib cage. The shoulder plane sits, rests right on top of the uppermost rib. Nothing is required from the shoulders. Release the abdomen. Hang out a little bit or allow your weight to sink through your hips. And just let those arms just swing. Now, when we stop in a couple moments, really captivate that moment, that experience when you stop, and how it feels like to hang out and let those arms just come to stillness naturally. So if I stop right here, not stopping my arms, noticing entering into that process of softness and allowing gravity to work. When we do 180 degrees, let's explore the same thing with just a bigger turn. Hang out. Let's start the same way we stopped. Aware of my alignment. Hanging out, relaxed. Weight under side. Weight through the feet. And letting those arms go. Notice if there's a part in the turn where you're coming up. That's usually when a person steps forward, might be coming up a little bit. Want that to even out because we're continually hanging out, allowing gravity to work through our structure continually. So we don't really want to pop up. That's a different kind of thing. So operationally, what that means is the knees stay bent. They stay bent virtually at the same degree of bentness. So that's technically what's involved. But actualize that evenness of height by just imagining that you're hanging out and your knees will bend naturally. Or you could focus on the tailbone, just hanging straight down. Let the shoulder joints release and open. Back of the neck is open, long. Now, next time or two, when you come to a stop, just enjoy entering that stopping experience. We'll go back to 90 degrees. And this time we'll add a slide step. So this is another variation of the Tenkon Undo, is we can add a slide step. Sliding back, sliding forward. Irimi, so it's Irimi Tenkon. Sliding in, sliding back. Still nothing in the arms. So really emphasizing today this alignment vertically, hanging out, taking the work out of the arms, letting the body be very soft and natural. Hanging out the whole time so you're not bobbing up and down. Release the abdomen. Drop the chin slightly or open and lengthen the back of the neck. And the next time or two, come to a stop and be with that process. Notice your breathing, your alignment, your tailbone, shoulders. And we'll do that with the 180-degree turn. The entering slide step, enter, turn, slide back, enter, turn, slide back. And then release those shoulders and arms. So it's like your hips are sliding forward, not your upper body. Release the abdomen. And next time or two, you come to a stop. Enjoy that process of hanging out and captivating that experience, naturalness, weight underside. Now let's once more go back to a 90-degree tenkan. Bring in a bit more of a shape, either the Minucci shape or that arc, those two different ways we touched upon last time. Either one, whichever one that you're more used to or that you want to do. But with the idea of having the same softness. And we'll stay with the slide step version, a little bit more movement, covering more space, but still staying pristine with your hanging out, with your alignment, the softness in the shoulders. Notice if your shoulders come up, let them sit on top of the rib cage. So you have a specific trajectory for your hands and arms, but same relaxation as if you're just still doing the arm swing. Notice you can have much less firing of the muscles, tightening and tensing, but still have that good shape, that good position. You tend to do way more tension than is necessary to do a movement. That can stay very, very soft and open, even in very dynamic movement. And the next time or two, come to a stop. Notice how that feels. See if you can take that feeling into the next starting point. So we'll do the 180 degrees with the hand shape, slide stepping. More and more, a big part of our process and study is how natural can I remain. Of course, that necessitates being more and more keenly aware of tightness and tension that exists and that previously wasn't noticed. So a huge part of that process is simply being aware of the tightness that is and consciously releasing it. And the next time or two, coming to an abrupt stop, but the energy does not stop. Check out your abdomen, tailbone, shoulders, breath. Okay. So let's go into Minucci. We'll do 4-direction Minucci. So Shiho Undo or Shiho Giri. We start with the right foot forward. Minucci, Tenkai, or turn 180. Step to the right, 90 degrees. Tenkai, 180 to the left. And see how much relaxation and softness you can bring into this exercise. Then we do Yurmi Tenkan as far as footwork to come back to the starting point. So it's just the hips that slide, we don't lean. Sliding. Again, that comes from the feet or the ground. Arms are just doing this. But we'll have a little bit more clear, strong intention. So it forms that classic Minucci shape. That happens because of intention rather than muscular effort. Not muscularly creating that shape, just having a sharper, clear intention to get the arms to that place. So forward, to the rear, to the right, to the left. Yurmi Tenkan. Each, ni, san, shi. And when you do Yurmi Tenkan, coming back to the start, again, try not to bob up and down. Keep the same process going, still hanging from the string. Each, ni, san, Shi, still hanging out, still relaxed. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, release the abdomen, hang the tailbone. Let's do forward direction, hapu undo or hapu giri. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to advance with my right leg, my back leg to the right corner. 180 degrees to the left. Advance with the right leg to the right corner. 180 degrees to the left. And then I turn back to the front. 2, 3, 4. Advance with the right leg to the right corner. Tenkai 180. Right step. Tenkai 180. And back to the beginning. Each, ni, san, shi, ho, rok, sich, hach. Each, ni, san, shi, ho, rok, sich, hach. Each, ni, san, shi, ho, rok, sich, hach. Okay, letting those arms just hang and swing. Release the abdomen. So let's explore some more footwork. And as we do that again, working the process of hanging out, releasing, opening, releasing tensions. Tailbone is hanging, back of the neck is open and long. So let's go over the footwork first before we bring in anything else with the arms. So, a la Jim Sensei, we start with the right leg forward. Every time we advance with the left leg, that will be 90 degrees. Advance with the right leg, 180. Left leg, 90. Right leg, 180. 90. 180. 90. 180. Well, let's do that one more time, just with the footwork. So with the right leg forward, advancing with the left leg is 90, advancing with the right leg is 180. And because we're not doing any arm movement, it's really get a chance to focus on hanging out vertically. Tailbone and feet connected to the ground. So 90, 180. You just let those arms swing again, 90, 180, 90, 180. 90, 180. Okay. Now we can do that with Maruchi. Okay. So 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the physical timing and dynamics is that as you advance forward, as you step forward, that's the raising of the arms. As the foot slides back in position, that's the drawing of the arms down. So when I step, advancing, raises the arms. The leg coming back, sliding into the rear position is the arms, that brings the arms back down. Okay, so we'll do that with that timing in mind. So 90 degrees, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So now we'll switch feet. Left leg is forward. Hidari Hanmi. So same process as we step, advancing, raises into Manuchi. As the foot comes back, the foot coming back is the cutting down. So I'll just mention the degree of turn the first 1 or 2 times through this process. So now as we advance with the right foot, it's a 90-degree turn. Advancing with the left foot is a 180-degree turn. Let's actually do a cycle or two without the arms, just the footwork, and the arms can do just that arm swing action. Okay, left leg forward, so the right foot's going to advance. 90 degrees. Left foot advancing is 180. 90, 180, 90, 180, hang out from the string, 90, 180, hang out, hang out, hang out. Stay with that ending process. Stay with that, being mindful of that subsiding process. Alignment. Left leg forward, advancing with the right foot, it's going to be 90 degrees. Arm swings, 90 degrees, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180. Staying mindful of the ending process, relaxing, releasing. So now we'll bring in Manuchi shape. 90 degrees, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180, 90, 180. And stay with that process at the end. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hanging out, vertical, weight through the feet. Arms surrendered to gravity. Okay, so we'll do a couple more. You can do it on your own time. So here we go, height. Okay, and so whenever you get to the 8th one, hang out, enjoy that process. Okay, so just a minor thing, and we all tend to do it to one degree or another. So it tends to be a kind of a coming up. And so maybe that's visible here. I'm coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up. So we want to level that. I mean, technically we want to level that. It ends up being level. What's really more important is the process. Is we want to be truly hanging out, sinking. In Tai Chi, we talk a lot about sinking the Chi and developing the root. So that process is always going on. So in a way, we'd have to try really hard to come up. It's not an oppressive thing pushing you down because your skeletal structure is very much designed to work with gravity when it's vertically aligned. the design of the bones, it's a job of the bones to be a conduit for gravity vertically. So it's not that we're having to hold ourselves from falling into the floor further and further down. We just have to align and hang, but as we hang, stay bright and open, not collapsed. So there's a bit of coming up. Now there's a specific time and place where we might want to employ that, but more general, more basic is we want to stay grounded. Because generally speaking, this can be an out of bounds point, or a point where if you enter, you come up, you can be pushed here on a very basic level. So a nice way of putting it is you're always grounded, even when you pick up a foot or both feet. That vector is always working for you, always working for you. So let's just do a couple more, and you may have to kind of really emphasize bending the knees, or when I'm leaving the ground, am I leaving it separated from the ground vertically? So even as you pick up that foot, you're still grounded, still have the sinking of chi, or sinking of ki. Okay, so let's do a couple more. Feel free to do it on your own time. We'll just spend a minute working on your own and see if you can just really either think of keeping the hips at that same level, sliding, or that you're still hanging out continually throughout every part of the move. Okay, so let's do that. Okay. Something that I find helpful that for me seems to really be the antidote to that rising is when I think of that I'm truly entering. You know what I mean? I'm actually entering in to do maybe a ikkyo. That tends to keep me nice and level, and I feel like I'm much more grounded and stable than if I just think of doing the step. If I think of doing this as just a step of body movement, there's normally and naturally a rising, and I think that's at least partially or largely because the arms are coming up. I think that's why it's kind of a natural thing for all of us to do that. If I think of, I'm not really doing a step and swinging my arms, I'm coming in to do a strike, I'm coming in to do manuchi, coming in to do a ski. If I think I'm actually entering in a very functional way, if I'm actually entering, that really seems to even it out, make it much more solid. So let's do a couple more rotations. And every time you advance, if I maybe illustrate a couple times, if I advance with the idea I'm coming in for an atemi or manuchi, that really tends to keep me solid, stable, and much more vital and dynamic. I'm coming in for a function. I'm coming in for, again, atemi or manuchi. I'm coming in for martial reason. I just need to get there very strongly. And that seems to address it. So let's experiment with that. So go ahead on your own. You're advancing. You're advancing. You're entering. Advancing. You're usurping their spot. Entering into their spot. And did you find that makes any difference at all?
Yeah, like there was more of a unification of all the bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. Okay.
So we are just at 3 now. I know we started late, so I'm
Okay.
okay to keep going, but yeah.
Yeah, I think probably you've planned on finishing at 3, so we can finish with a wind down and misogi. We turn sideways a little bit, hanging out, expand out. So 2 basic ideas, 2 basic feelings to start with. We're hanging out, but we're also radiating out, emanating outward, expanding out. So I'm in a light horse stance. Knees over the feet, shoulders sitting, elbows draw the shoulders down. Push the back of the neck back, lower back, back. Just not going so far that it becomes a pelvic tilt the other way. So that would be too far. Just want the tailbone pointing straight down. So it's feeling out the curve in the lower back, feeling out the curve in the neck. Have that same fullness, feeling, fullness. Get your arms out there. So you're not lifting your arms, not holding your arms up. It's that same fullness. And Tai Chi is called Peng. Peng force, expansive. And so right now, we don't want a very deep horse stance, just for our purposes right now. You don't want to get distracted by a lot of exertion or getting tired. We just want a nice open shape. Hanging out, relaxing out. See if you can let the shoulders sit a little bit more. See if you can let the elbows roll forward a little bit more. Pulling the shoulders down even more so. Releasing the abdomen. Hang out and breathe. So hanging out and expanding outwardly. Opening outwardly. Noticing any tension that's accumulating, and you can release that tension by a number of different ways. You might make your shape a little bit smaller. You might be opening a bit too much so that your muscles aren't willing to let go at that point, to that point yet. So you can make the shape a little smaller, or you can come out of it for a moment, hang out, open outwardly again, approaching it again, seeing how open and soft you can be. Rounded shape in front of the abdomen. Shoulders are open. Breathing in, expanding laterally. Breathing out, coming back over the tendon. Bahara. Breathing in, rising and expanding. Breathing out, sinking, coming back to your center. Walk your feet in so they're shoulder width and parallel. Opening, breathing in, coming back over the center, breathing out. Opening the chest here, opening the back here. Chest rotates open, breathing out, the back rotates open. Just from the breathing. Okay, breathing in, palms up. Breathing out, coming down center line. Sinking. Breathing in. Breathing out, and more and more take the muscle effort out. It's a movement of mind and breath. Body is soft. Slowly coming down. And again, laterally. Opening the chest. Breathing out, opening the back. Again, coming from the movement of the breath, not from the muscles. Belly expands, belly empties. And hands over the hara, the tendon, resting at the belt level. Feel the energy of your hands going straight into your core. Let your mind and breath rest there as well, deep in the core, as your weight exits freely through the legs and feet. Deep breath in through the nose, long deep breath in. Long breath out through the mouth. Release your hands, let them swing very naturally, just a natural swing. You didn't do that, just a dropping of the arms. You let that momentum continue. Breathing normally, mindful of the gentle movement of the arms and hands. Letting gravity gradually and naturally bring those arms to stillness. Feel the heat tingling and fullness in the hands. Breath in the belly, weight through the feet. Back of the neck is open and long. Lower back is open and long. Big breath in.